so much they can't hear it? Is it more after their career? Because I think as a day-to-day player, it's difficult to understand the relationship of your call other than how you interview them. So
I don't know, I think it might be more of the off the era stuff, just how you interact with them and your interviews and the time you spend with them. They feel like they have decent questions for you. But the highlights are everywhere now too. I mean, that's really changed.
Do you have a favorite player of all time?
With the A's?
Or where?
For me, Jason Giambi was the best guy that ever had. In terms of the combination of being a star who was unaffected by his stardom, and a guy that was remarkably cooperative with the press. You know Bill's famous Giambi is the man call. And I interviewed Jason. I found him before in Arizona during spring training in 2013. And he was so great about talking about it. I thought some of his quotes about Bill were some of the best in the book, about how much he loved Bill and how Bill made him well-rounded. He said, you know, I was just a baseball player. Those conversations helped make me well-rounded. So he was great. Jerry Blevins was one of my all-time favorites. Jerry Blevins was a guy that you could talk politics with, you could talk, you know, listen, I'm not an artist like Bill, but I enjoy going to art museums on the road. And Blevins would say, when you come back to the ballpark, tell me about it. Well, a lot of ball players don't really care. So he was great. And I'll tell you, Stephen Vogt.
Yeah.
Stephen Vogt is one of the most fascinating people that we've ever had. This guy he's wonderful. He's very bright, but he's really a character. He could go to Vegas and do a lounge act. With Moss. But Vogt does impressions, he does comedy routines. He's really talented. And he gets it in terms of just the media and kind of understanding the role of the media and the player's role that can help facilitate things for us. Mark Ellis was unbelievable. Just a prince.
How about your favorite manager?
Not Bob Gary.
Favorite Bay Area broadcaster, except for, of course, Vince Ray and Glenn.
I think, well, you know, honestly, I don't like to comment about other announcers because it sounds self-serving when you do it. You know, I try to take from, there are a lot of people in our business, especially when I was working in AAA, honestly, because there's a lot of frustration when you're in the minor leagues and you haven't gotten to the big leagues, where people would just take shots at guys working in the big league. He's lousy, he's terrible, and why is he working in the big league? There's a reason that they're there. They probably did some things pretty well to get where they are. So I've always tried to take the good things from people and maybe try to learn from what made them successful. I really like most of the guys out here, honestly. I think we're very fortunate. I happen to think that Dwayne Kuiper is an excellent radio announcer. I really like listening to him. And I think John is really good. I mean, John's great, he's in the Hall of Fame. But most of the guys are really good. Ted Robinson has been a good friend for a long time. I'm friendly with most of the guys. Jim Barnett, I'm thrilled that he's going to continue to do the games. And I'll leave somebody out.
Started.
Yeah, I don't know Joe that well, but when I was doing San Jose State football, he was obviously doing Cal. And when you listen to Joe do Cal, it's Cal. You know, he's Cal. He's kind of synonymous with Cal. So a lot of them, I think that there's a pretty high standard here. You know, obviously Lon was a real idol of mine. So I love listening to Lon. And I go back to listening to Lon and Russ. Monty Moore has been a huge influence on me. Maybe not so much in terms of broadcasting, but just by how gracious a guy he is. You know, he always sends me a wonderful email before the start of every year. And, you know, wish you the best of luck. And those are nice things. It's a nice touch.
Can you comment on the TV usage of Scott Hatterberg last year and Shooting Abbott this year in terms of Ray's ongoing role in that? You may not want to comment, but there's been a lot of speculation, especially on Twitter. People say, oh, Ray's getting pushed out, Ray's not happy about this, and other people say, no, Ray's welcomes it and he wants to cut down.
Well, I don't think it's my place to speak for Ray on that, honestly, Margie, but I know this. First of all, I don't have any idea what it sounds like. I mean, I don't know.
Probably just as well.
But I can tell you this, I don't think there's any attempt to push Ray out. I mean, I don't think that was the genesis of that. You know, I would hope that Ray will be able to work for as long as he wants. I can't speak for management or for the A's or for
Just wondered if you.
Comcast,
knew
but
what they're
I hadn't
thinking.
heard any inkling at all that that this was an attempt to kind of push Ray to the side.
Yeah.
And I think Ray really loves what he does, and I cherish the times when Ray is on radio with us, because I think he's great. I mean, I think that Ray, one of the things about Ray is that he's not just a former player who's on the air, he's a former player who's become a broadcaster, because he really works hard at it. You see him on the field talking to the opponents. He keeps meticulous notes. He has these binders and notebooks and things that he keeps of past games and matchups, and he takes it very seriously. He's a really astute guy when it comes to analyzing the game, and so I love those times.
Has he come to you? Because when Ray first got started, I think maybe everybody agrees, or it's just my opinion, but he was good at color. It really took him a while to get good at play-by-play. Did he ever come to you and ask for advice or? I just noticed a huge improvement in his play-by-play
Yeah,
skills.
and he's not really doing any play-by-play anymore.
Well,
It's
but
like when I'm gone next week, Roxy will do the games.
Yeah,
with me.
yeah.
But
the little opportunities.
yeah,
where
he's gotten
he's
better.
really gotten.
Yeah, and I think he takes pride in what he
Yeah,
does.
because his color is great.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's repetition.
Yeah, and it's helped his color, I think. too.
Yeah, sure. But one thing that he did do is I think he learned from guys like Monty when he first would fill in when he's on the DL, and then when he worked with Bill and Lonnie, he was a little intimidated working with Bill and Lonnie. But he learned from those guys, and he really learned how to do. It's different on radio as opposed to TV. On radio, you have to be more succinct, and he has a great sense of the timing of that. You never have to worry about him talking over a pitch or something like that.
When he does radio with you guys now, I think he's fantastic.
No, he's great. I love it when he's with us. And I think he's gotten better with age. I think he's better now than he was 10 years ago. I really do. I think he really is.
I hate to interject, but
Yes.
I have a 4-month-old, or 7-month-old at home with 4 teeth coming in, and my wife is now telling me to come home instead of asking. So if I could get my books.
We have the room until 8, so maybe if you guys want me to sign some stuff.
Absolutely.
Great if I
I
could.
think, yeah, go ahead.
Do you think, are there, having been to all the other stadiums, I'm sure most of us are in the process of doing, the stadium tour, lifetime stadium tour. Are there any other fan bases that quite have that sense of blue collar rowdiness as
Like
our
the A's fans?
Yeah. Like, do other fans, I've never seen any footage of other fans with like 2 flags
Well,
up.
I always thought, and I think it's changed now that they're in the new ballpark, that the energy at Yankee Stadium was the best of any stadium in baseball. When there was in the older park and the upper deck over it, there was an overhang there, and the second deck and an overhang. The energy in New York was the greatest. I mean, it's fantastic.
I went there a couple of years ago to the new stadium.
Now it's changed a little bit. It's more corporate, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Boston fans are incredibly passionate,
Yeah.
Even if they're in first place, they lose 2 games in a row, panic sets in.
So in other words, you're saying now that they're not in first place and they've lost 3 straight here, we could have another tea party out there.
Yeah, I think we had one of their announcers, Roxy had one of their guys on today, and he said now that the afterglow of winning is going to wear off, and now they're going to start panicking about this year. I think Gianna has some notes. It might be a little easier to put your names on there, and then that would.